In a world driven by power and strategic force, which nation will shape the future? The United States, China, or Russia? Analysts are increasingly describing the international system as entering a new era of strategic rivalry involving the United States, China, and Russia. This competition is taking place across multiple domains, including economics, military capability, technology, and diplomacy. The outcome of this rivalry could help determine which nation exercises the most influence in the decades ahead. The United States has long been seen as the dominant global power, having built extensive military alliances, financial systems, and trade networks after the Second World War. The country maintains a vast network of bases and security partnerships, particularly through NATO and agreements in the Asia-Pacific. Supporters of the U.S. model argue that Washington still possesses unmatched global reach, a powerful navy, and deep economic connections. Critics, however, note that domestic polarization and shifting global priorities have challenged its ability to lead as it once did. China has become the most prominent challenger to U.S. influence. Its economic rise has been rapid, lifting millions out of poverty while expanding manufacturing, trade, and infrastructure across Asia, Africa, and Latin America. Beijing has used initiatives such as the Belt and Road to deepen overseas partnerships and expand logistical access. China has also invested in advanced technologies, artificial intelligence, and defense modernization. Some analysts believe Beijing could become the leading economic power within a generation, while others caution that structural issues, demographic shifts, and geopolitical backlash could slow its ascent. Russia's influence is rooted more in military power, resource exports, and strategic flexibility. Moscow has maintained capabilities in nuclear deterrence, energy supply chains, and regional security operations. Russia has shown willingness to act militarily to defend what it views as vital spheres of interest. Although its economic base is smaller than that of the United States or China, its diplomatic reach and security posture allow it to play a disproportionate role on the world stage. Analysts argue that Moscow's strategy is to prevent strategic encirclement and preserve multipolar dynamics. The rivalry between these three nations is not limited to traditional warfare. Analysts describe the new competition as multidimensional, involving sanctions, information campaigns, cyber operations, and influence in multilateral institutions. Some experts refer to this as a form of systemic contest, where states compete to define the rules of international conduct. This includes debates on trade frameworks, human rights, technological standards, and currency systems. A key question moving forward is whether the world transitions towards bipolarity or multipolarity. If rivalry between the U.S. and China continues to intensify, some analysts expect a bipolar structure to emerge, with other nations adapting according to their interests. Others argue that Russia's involvement, along with regional actors such as India, Turkey, and the European Union, could push the system towards a more complex multipolar balance. Observers caution that domination may not be achieved through force alone. Economic resilience, diplomatic coalition building, and technological innovation could prove just as decisive as military power. At the same time, the risk of escalation remains present in contested regions such as the South China Sea, Eastern Europe, and the Middle East. For now, no final outcome is clear. The international system remains fluid, and the balance of power could shift depending on economic performance, domestic stability, and unforeseen global crises. Analysts agree that the coming decade will be crucial in determining which model gains the most traction in what some describe as a world shaped increasingly by power, competition, and strategic leverage. More updates may follow.